Well, well, well. So I was listening today and somebody was saying on one of the 3 or 4 letter networks, I think it was the 4-letter network, and it is amazing to me that people are already kind of starting to get on the Dallas Cowboys bandwagon sooner than later. And one of the things that shocked me today coming from ESPN is that they are starting to say that the Dallas Cowboys may actually be one player away. Not one draft away, but one player away. But I would say I would lean more towards one draft away. But nevertheless, they are saying that the Cowboys, they love the Cowboys offseason moves. And that they're saying that they believe the Cowboys are going to be absolutely competitive this year. Well, my question to us, are we one draft away from being Super Bowl contenders? Y'all already know my answers. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Hey, let's go. What is going on, Dallas Cowboy fans? I'm sorry, I'm not going to participate in the mock draft craze this year. I might do a mock draft the night of the draft so we can see where I was right and where I was wrong. But for now, we're just going to keep talking Dallas Cowboys. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this live stream, or as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member or subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? We have a lot of great things coming up this season. Now let's talk facts. Once again, Cowboys fans, trying not to bring you redundant Cowboys content. I have scratched, clawed, scoured, and scrubbed through social media. The Big Rombowski has helped me with a story we're going to talk about today. But these are today's stories. How good was Emmitt Smith? I mean, some people just may be wondering. They're hearing Emmitt Smith do a lot of talking. We know he's the number one ranked running back in history, but how good was Emmitt Smith? We're not going to spend a lot of time on that, but I just want to bring some people to just remind us how good Emmitt Smith really was and how important a running back. And I'm not just talking about any running back. When you're talking about a generational running back, Emmitt Smith was that good. Then we're going to dig into this whole thing about, are the Cowboys truly one draft away from being competitive? And as we keep talking about the draft, there's a lot of talk about the Cowboys possibly moving up in the draft. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think you can rule out anything in this draft. I don't think you can rule out Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, moving up, moving back, staying pat. All 5 of those are a possibility. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to see if we can kind of track down the Cowboys' 30 visits. I think the Cowboys' 30 visits, you get 30 visits with players. And I think the 30 visits are telling us exactly what the Cowboys are looking for. Then the Big Rombowski shot me something today on X, and I thought it was very interesting about Shotty's NFL rank amongst coaches. Where does he rank amongst all 32 coaches? Y'all tell me. But then I saw something else. They were ranking the offensive coordinators in the league. And this is going to shock you where Shotty ranks versus where the offensive coordinator ranks. And then there are 2 players I want to talk about. I've already talked about one of them, but we're going to talk about him again. I want to talk about Dylan Thieneman. I just want us to be very careful in case Caleb Downs don't fall to us. The Cowboys don't have to reach. The Cowboys could trade back, get more draft capital, and they could go get a guy like Dylan Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman is a baller, man. And then, of course, we're going to look at the player profile of one Jacob Rodriguez. So That's going to be the show for today. Was Emmett any good? Are we one draft away from the Super Bowl? Are the Cowboys moving up in the draft? Who are the 30 visits so far for the Cowboys? What is Brian Schottenheimer's NFL rank amongst NFL coaches? What is our offense coordinator rank amongst offense coordinators in this league? Looking at Dylan Thieneman, looking at Jacob Rodriguez. Let's go. Let's get it. Quick roll call, and then we're going to get right into our story for the day. Renan Zanguini, what is going on? What's going on, Renan? Good to see you. Yeah, looks like we're going to be playing Ravens in Brazil. That's what I heard. It's the real estate vet. What up, dog? Man, living good. How you living? Good to see you. John Henry, what's going on? Lord Nova, what's going on? It's that man, Dominique Pittman. What's up, Dominique Pittman? We still trying to convince him about Jerry Jones. Tatiana, what's going on? Tatiana, we ain't gonna do that Blueface song, but what's going on, Tatiana? Richard Owens in the crib. What's going on, Richard Owens? Welcome to the congregation today. Carl Williams, let's go Cowboys. Top 10 defense loading. Poobie D got my back. What up, Poobie D? What up, Jeff Shack? What's going on? Man, hey, we just getting started, Jeff Shack. Dak Owens in the building. He said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys and We Talk Facts. Come in, hit the like button, and let your opinion be heard. Also, please keep the chat clean. Let's go. JCT Slice number 1, Dak Prescott fan up number 2. He said either 1 or 2 drafts away from realizing our ultimate goal and getting that Super Bowl for Dak and break that drought too. We're closer than some think. We still have 4. Let's go. What up, Devin Mills? Good to see you. What's going on, Alan Pena? What's going on? What's going on? Mike said this. What's going on? The real estate vet said, yep, 1 player away to be Super Bowl contenders. They read the script early. That's why they said that. Yes, sir. I see what you're talking about. What's going on, Mim? What's going on? Brandy, as usual, she said, hey, my loves, what's going on? What's going on with you, Brandy? Good to see you. Jeremy Betts, that man is here too. What's going on? All is well today. Good to see you. Frank Lawrence. What's going on, Frank Lawrence? Yeah, Jeremy Betts. He said everything is good. What's going on, Betts? What's up, Terry Tatum? Yes, sir. It's a New Jack City. Money Talk. Bullcorn runs a marathon. What's going on? Tank Adams. What's going on? Dallas 88. What up? Derek Jones. What's going on? William Dansby. What up, Dansby? Let's get this thing going. Robert Dudley. Best chat on YouTube. What's up, Dudley? Real estate vet said, let me ask this. Running behind that O-line, do you think the average running back could have done the same? You know what? I don't think so. Listening to Michael Irvin, Michael Irvin said that line didn't get good till Emmitt Smith got there. So I'm gonna give him what it is. If Mike said it, I'm gonna believe it. What's going on, Dolores Ennis? Lost in the Translation Podcast, what up? Yeah, let's get this thing going, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me today. Give yourselves a hand, best chat on YouTube. All right. So let's get this thing started with how good was Emmitt Smith. We're not going to spend a tremendous amount of time on this.
Yes! Here we go!
I could not help it. I ran across a clip today on accident, and it showed Emmitt Smith running the football. And I said, I have got to show this to anybody who did not get the opportunity to see Emmitt Smith run when he was actually playing the game. Man, let me tell y'all something. Folk don't understand what a running, I mean, people do not understand how great of a running back that Emmitt Smith truly was. And I think what makes Emmitt Smith one of the best running backs I ever saw, and I didn't mention this yesterday, one of the things that made Emmitt Smith one of the best running backs I ever saw is that he wasn't the biggest, wasn't the fastest, wasn't the strongest. I mean, if you would have looked at Emmitt Smith compared to other running backs, At first glance, you'd have been like, oh, okay, okay, here, running back. I mean, because when you look at some running backs today, and even some of the great running backs, when you just look at them, you go, oh, wow, they look like they can run the ball. I mean, they just look like a running back. It's not that Emmett didn't look like a running back. Emmett didn't look like the running back that he was. Emmett was better than he looked, if that makes sense to anybody. I mean, there are some guys you look at and you go, oh, wow, I know he can run the ball. I mean, Zeke, just looking at Zeke, oh, yeah, he can run the ball. Just had a certain type of look. Emmett, it wasn't how he looked. It was how he looked on the field. Emmitt Smith was incredible. Man, I can't say enough about Emmitt Smith. Even though I don't agree with everything that he says, you cannot say enough about Emmitt Smith. This tape doesn't even do Emmitt Smith justice. But somebody put this on X. I got to show it to you. I'll go back and erase it after this live stream. I know they're going to hit me with a copyright strike. But, man, Emmitt Smith, I just had to show y'all this. Emmitt Smith shows you what a running back like him can do. He can change your whole franchise. Emmitt Smith, in a sense, kind of was the franchise. Check this dude out. The vision of Emmitt Smith was incredible. I mean, just watch the vision. Look at the vision. Man, I don't think people understand. Let me rewind this. Look at the vision. Look. What? Watch Emmitt. Look at the vision. Emmitt was insane. The vision, the moves, the power, the underestimated power. Man, Emmitt was incredible. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you, man. Emmitt was incredible. And I'm telling you now, Emmitt is not the best pure runner I've ever seen. But Emmitt Smith is the best running back I've ever seen. Emmitt Smith was the total package. He's the best running back I've ever seen. And I've seen Eric Dickerson, Jim Brown. I mean, you name them. I've seen a lot of them in my lifetime. Emmitt was incredible, bro. Emmitt was incredible, brothers and sisters. I'm just telling us, Emmitt was incredible. That's all I can tell you. So when Emmitt is doing a lot of talking, some people might not realize, why this man can do some of the talking that he's doing. Shoot, boy. When it comes to running backs, Emmitt can say anything he wants to. And he says a lot of good things about football. 72 Chevelle pulled up to the congregation. What up? 72 Chevelle said that's why he is the Dallas Cowboys. Oh, yeah. That's why I said yesterday in that speech, 72 Chevelle, he wasn't talking bad about quarterbacks or anything like that. Nah, let me tell y'all something. Emmitt was talking about himself. I'm telling y'all now, Emmitt was talking about himself yesterday. The Dallas Cowboys in 1991 and 92, they are not the Dallas Cowboys without Emmitt Smith. Troy Aikman isn't Troy Aikman without Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin isn't Michael Irvin without Emmitt Smith. That line isn't as good without Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin made that point. And even in the tape that I just showed you, how many tackles? How many tackles are you watching him break? How many moves are you watching him put on people? You're looking at Emmitt Smith and it's like, it's hard to even just categorize what you're looking at. Emmitt is seeing guys that other people don't see. And they don't even realize Emmitt sees them. And he's just dodging them, not with just quick moves. I mean, just smooth moves, just boom, just. I mean, it's like it's in slow motion when Emmett is running, and people knew Emmett wasn't that fast, but man, Emmett was deceptively fast. Once Emmett got in front of you, it was tough. It was tough. Only the fastest of the fast could catch Emmett. He was tough. Yeah, Michael, this is why I say Emmitt Smith is the best running back I've ever seen. Tony Dorsett was a better pure runner. Oh, man. Boy, I remember watching on that Monday night when Tony Dorsett broke that 99-yard run on Minnesota. Boy, people do not understand how fast Tony Dorsett was. Tony Dorsett was blazing fast. Emmett really wasn't that fast. But he played fast in a sense. You got him on the field. He could outrun guys. And I bet you even guys were surprised that Emmett was outrunning them. Emmett is one of those players that played better than what you would call combine stats. Emmett in today's combine, man, they probably would have knocked Emmett all the way down to the 7th round because of how these guys are. I mean, these guys are all about this, what they do in the combine. But if you look at this man's tape, nah. You'd have known that Emmett was the truth in college, but I don't think anybody knew. I don't think anybody realized what he was going to be in the pros. Emmett was a different animal in the pros, man. Yeah, Real Vibe, he said skill set was off the charts. Vision, patience, and passion. Emmett and Irving had a strong will to win games. Man, this is why Real Vibe, I say all the time, I just don't know. There are not many wide receivers I would take over Michael Irvin. And Michael Irvin would probably disagree with me. I wouldn't take Randy Moss over Michael Irvin. I wouldn't take Terrell Owens over Michael Irvin. There are not many wide receivers, and there have been some great ones in this game. I can't think of there's only 2 wide receivers that would make me question whether or not I'm taking them over Michael Irvin. Jerry Rice was pretty incredible. Jerry Rice was one of them too. If I'm not mistaken, didn't Jerry Rice come from JUCO or either a small school? Nobody knew Jerry Rice was going to be what he was. Nobody knew Jerry Rice was going to be that great. Comes into the NFL and is probably top 3 greatest wide receiver ever to play the game. And then, of course, Megatron, from Detroit. I mean, when a wide receiver has the name Megatron, I mean, come on, man. Come on. Stu was from a different planet. But Michael Irvin, I remember Emmett said one time that what separates players from players is their heart. And what separated Emmett and what separated Michael Irvin, and this is why I say Troy Aikman was so fortunate to play with players like this. Emmett and Irvin had a will to win. They had a will that said, we want to be great. They came onto the Dallas Cowboys when the Dallas Cowboys were America's team for winning games. They were America's team because they were tough. They were resilient. They were the product of one of the best coaches to ever coach the game. Tom Landry is a top 5 coach in NFL history, coaching offense, defense, special teams. I mean, some of this man's play designs, they are still using them in the NFL today. Tom Landry invented so many things in football. The Cowboys were beloved all over America and the world long before Jerry Jones got here because they were winning long before Jerry Jones got here. They were winning. And we have to understand that Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, they came into the game understanding who Roger Staubach was, Tony Dorsett was. They understood these great players of the Dallas Cowboys. the Drew Pearsons, the Tony Hills. I mean, they knew who these guys was. The Cowboys, doomsday defense. They came in this league knowing who those guys were, and they were playing for the pride of the star in the Dallas Cowboys. The problem was what's going on right now. The problem with what's going on right now is these players, they come in with this thing about being a star in Dallas rather than understanding what the star is all about. Emmett and Michael were different. Freddie says, I have to disagree with you, my brother. Emmett was the motor behind the Cowboys offense and the 90s defense, but Sweetness was better. Oh, no. Walter Payton was a better runner. I've named numerous runners, Freddie, that was better than Emmett. Emmett isn't the best running back in the league. He's not. But he's the best running back in NFL history. Not because of yards. We're talking everything Emmett did. Running, blocking, leadership on the team. I mean, catching the ball out of the background. People don't give Emmett enough credit for that. Emmett, longevity, versatility. Emmett was truly what you call a three-round, even a three down and a fourth down running back. Emmitt Smith was that running back that never came off the field. There have been better runners than Emmitt Smith, but I don't believe there's ever been another running back better than Emmitt Smith. He's the total package. Emmett is the total package. There's no running back in the total package that's ever been better than Emmitt Smith, at least in what my eyes have seen and even in what some of the stats are showing us. Calvin Richards, what's going on? Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was the reason they drafted Emmett. He talked about the times that they played Florida. Yeah, hey, Calvin. That was one of the advantages of Jimmy Johnson, man. He was so close. He was so close to the game, the college game. He just knew so much about the talent, man. He really did. And again, I'm telling y'all again, I'm not telling y'all that Emmett is the best running back I've ever seen. Because there have been some great running backs. And I'm telling you right now, a lot of people don't realize this, but as I said yesterday, man, O.J. Simpson is probably head and shoulders above any running back you can name as far as runner go. Man, the juice had the juice. But as it applies to running backs in the overall package, I can think of none better than Emmitt Smith. Frank Lawrence said, I enjoyed living in Redskins country, Virginia Beach, Virginia during entire Cowboys run in the 90s. 3 Super Bowl runs when the competition was fierce, but never a doubt the Cowboys would win it all. Oh, man, yeah. Cobey D, I'm going to tell you, man, and I don't blame you for having Moss over Megatron, but I tell you this, if Megatron had stayed healthy, ain't nobody would have been better than Megatron. And had he been on a better team. Megatron got tired of losing. Got tired of losing, bad ankles, all kinds of stuff. But, man, that man, Emmitt Smith, was incredible, man. He was incredible. And I want y'all to realize something. I'm not going to compare Zeke to Emmett. And I think one of the things that really messed up Zeke, I really believe Zeke could have been one of the best ones to ever do it, too. I really believe when Jerry Jones saw Zeke, he saw, this is my next Emmitt Smith. I believe Ezekiel Elliott could have been, if he would have, I just don't, and I could be totally wrong. This is just my opinion. I know we talk facts, but I'm going to tell you where this is my opinion. And I'm basing it on the actions of one Ezekiel Elliott. I don't think he loved the game. I don't think Zeke loved the game enough. Zeke didn't put the work in. He had so much natural talent that Zeke wanted to be, and I don't doubt he wanted to win and wanted to be great, but he also wanted to party. And I don't think there's a problem with partying and wanting to be great. But I don't know if anybody perfected that better than the Cowboys. Deion Sanders said it best. They partied hard and they played hard. Jimmy practiced them hard. They played hard. They won big. And Jimmy didn't mind them partying hard and partying big. Jimmy helped them with a mentality that young guys don't understand today. I want y'all to think about Cavante Turpin. Y'all remember Cavante Turpin in 2023, I believe it was, when the Cowboys got ready to play the Green Bay Packers? Cavante Turpin had the party before they played the Green Bay Packers. Not a winning mentality. Winners say, we're going to beat the brakes off the Green Bay Packers, and then we're going to go party. Arrogance says, we're going to go party, and then we're going to go beat the Green Bay Packers. Boy, that's going to be a tough out. And we have seen so many of these players in this era do this stuff. Y'all remember when Odell Beckham Jr., they were getting ready to play, I think it was the New York, they were getting ready to play the Green Bay Packers? Oh, he going to take the crew on vacation. We saw Tony Romo and Jason Witten do something similar to this. Oh, they going to go on vacation. They going to go down to the beach or wherever before they play a big time game. Arrogance says, oh, we going to win. We're the better team. Emmett and those guys didn't do that. And I think that was one of Zeke's issues. Zeke had a skill set that was off the scale. Had a skill set that was off the scale. Zeke could right now still be playing this game if he wanted to. If he wanted to, he could have still been playing this game. But Zeke just didn't seem to have that. He just didn't seem to have that love for the game. You know, he was at Ohio State. He was always a star. He was probably, even growing up, the best guy on any team he was on. He was probably always the star of any team he was on. I remember him in the draft coming up, had the shirt cut off, showing off them abs. And I mean, Zeke was just basking in the glory of all of the fame. And not to mention, it was already, heavily anticipated he was going to the Cowboys. And the Cowboys, it's the biggest stage. I believe Zeke could have been one of those guys too, but I just don't feel like Zeke, based on everything that I saw, it didn't seem like Zeke loved the game enough. Calvin Richardson, I heard they called him America's team because they sell more memorabilia than any other sports franchise. Well, unfortunately now, Calvin, and you already know this, unfortunately now, we have went longer. I'm trying to remember. This may be the longest drought of the Cowboys between Super Bowls than I can remember. Let's see. Cowboys Super Bowls. Let's pull them up. I'm thinking this may be the longest drought that the Cowboys have ever suffered as it pertains to Super Bowls. The Cowboys were almost winning a Super Bowl. Let's look at the stats here. The Cowboys won the Super Bowl, and this is not counting the fact that the Cowboys have 8 appearances in the Super Bowl. They have 8 appearances. 8 appearances in the Super Bowl. So we got the 72 Cowboys, the 78 Cowboys. But then, I can't remember the year that the Pittsburgh Steelers beat us. What year was that? Okay, the Cowboys got beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers when that tight end dropped the pass in the end zone. Even though there was still time on the clock, I still say that the Cowboys probably would have won that Super Bowl. That 1979 Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers was a heartbreaker. Man, that was a heartbreaker. 35-31, that was a heartbreaker. So the Cowboys lost in 71, 76, and 79. So the Cowboys have won 5 Super Bowls. So it was 14 years from 79 to 1993. It was 14 years to that next Super Bowl. The last time we won a Super Bowl is 1996. This is the longest drought. This is the longest drought in Cowboys history. This is the longest drought in Cowboys franchise history. And it's kind of, it kind of hits you when you think about it. And this may be what may be wrong with some of these players is that they can't identify. They can't identify with the America's team that we are watching. They can't identify with that America's team. The reason why they can't identify with that America's team, and what I mean by that, they can't associate winning with this America's team. But understand, we were America's team before Jerry came. And we're going to continue to be America's team. There's no doubt about it. We're just going to continue to be America's team. But at the end of the day, a lot of these players, they can't. Michael and Emmett could come in and identify with America's team. Jimmy Johnson knew, I'm replacing the legendary Tom Landry. I'm replacing the architect of certain offenses, defenses, special teams, plays. Tom Landry was a legend. Jimmy understood. I'm stepping into some big shoes. And as great as Jimmy was, and I love Jimmy Johnson, he wasn't better than Tom Landry. There are not a lot of coaches historically better than Tom Landry. He knew what he was coming into. And Jimmy did his thing. To say that you're not better than to say that you're not better than Tom Landry, it's not an insult. It's not an insult to say you're not better than Tom Landry. But imagine being the coach after Tom Landry. I want us to just think about that for a moment. You're the coach saying, I'm going to be the coach after Tom Landry. Shoo, I better win. Shoo, I better win. I got to have my own legacy. This is the Dallas bleeping Cowboys. Michael Irvin comes on to the Dallas Cowboys. He can remember Drew Pearson. Emmitt Smith can remember Tony Dorsett. They can remember these historical players, how great they were. How many rookies this year were alive the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl? It hits different, man. That's all I'm telling you is it hits different. It just hits different. And I think that was one of the things with Zeke. I'll be honest with y'all. I think that was one of the things with Micah Parsons. I believe the star got to Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is an absolutely great player. But the thing about Micah Parsons, he loved the stage. He loved it. Him and other players, he ain't the only one guilty. There are other players that have loved. Zeke is one. There are other players other than Micah and Zeke that have loved the stage of the Dallas Cowboys. There are people that love the stage. But we have to realize, man, these Cowboys players like Irvin and Troy and Emmett, they didn't come into this thing loving the stage per se, because football wasn't what it is now. Man, we're going to be a Dallas Cowboy. Tom Landry's old team. Playing in Texas Stadium with the roof missing. They used to say the roof was missing so God could look down on the Cowboys. Say all kinds of stuff. These guys now, they come in, it's not the same. It's not the same. And I think Zeke could have been great, but Zeke I just don't think he loved the game. I think he loved what the game brought him. But I don't think he, and I'm not telling you he didn't like the game, like he didn't like football, he didn't love football. But when you get to the pros, that's a different game than what you played in middle school from, hey, I'm the most popular guy in middle school, high school, I'm the most popular guy in high school, college, I'm one of the most popular guys in the country. You come to the pros, it's called the pros for a reason. These are the best of the best. And there's always somebody trying to take your place. There's always somebody trying to knock you out. There are grown men playing this game. And if you don't keep your body in shape, if you don't do the things that you need to do, you won't last long in this league. You won't. Rumbowski said when the Cowboys were on Hard Knocks and showed Zeke coming in like 15 pounds lighter as a running back in the NFL, yeah, I knew this wouldn't end well and wound up being the beginning to his decline. Yeah. Cobey D, the 90s Cowboys is really the unsung hero. Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith in that line gets all the credit. But that defense, Cobey D, Cowboys defense in 1992-93, man, those are some of the best defenses we ever seen in our life and don't even realize it. They enabled the Cowboys to do a lot of the things that they did. They enabled them to do it. What's going on, Marlon Dillard? He said, my 2 picks in the first round are Thieneman and Rodriguez. I'm thinking they're going to still get Crosby. Hey, he going to be out there. You watch what I tell you. He going to be out there. All right, guys, I'm sorry. I'm reminiscing on these winning Cowboys. I'm sorry, man. Boy, I'm just telling you, these guys coming into these teams today, they're just not, we're not realizing they're coming into a different team. They're coming onto a team that they can't remember the last time that it won. They're having to watch highlights of the last time this team won a Super Bowl because they were not alive when this team won a Super Bowl. Frank said, man, as far as Zeke off the field, it's a bad look for the entire team when news breaks that the star running back beat up a civilian in a bar. He could have been one of the great ones. Yeah, he said I lost respect. Azteca, he said, isn't it funny, G, in the 90s, we beat the Niners twice, the Packers in the playoffs to go to the Super Bowl. Fast forward to modern day, we lost to the Niners twice in the playoffs and the Packers. And let me tell you something, Azteca. And those teams, when the Cowboys played them, they were tougher than they are today. Man, those 90s San Francisco 49ers teams and Green Bay teams, they were loaded. They were loaded. And we beat those teams. We beat those teams. Absolutely beat those teams. Marcus Newsom, let me read what you're saying here. It's interesting what you said. Marcus Newsom said the Cowboys are too committed to their quarterbacks. Sometimes you just blow it up and move on. The Cowboys don't understand that when it comes to quarterbacks, Dak is great, but it's not working out. Romo was the same. Marcus Newsom, I agree, but let me tell you why I disagree. What Tom Landry was better at, and Marcus, understand this. Even Jimmy Johnson, I'm giving Jimmy the same credit, Marcus. What Tom Landry understood and what Jimmy Johnson understood, that no matter how great your quarterback is, you must put great players around them. You must have a great system around them. You must have great coaching. You must have great assistant coaches. Landry understood this. Jimmy understood this. And you want to know what has messed up the Cowboys for the last 31 years, Dominique Pittman? Jerry Jones thought it was only about talent acquisition. And so what Jerry has done over the last 30 years, he's chased the talent of those teams, but he didn't chase the mentality of those teams. He chased the talent. Okay, 70s Cowboys, great quarterback. Okay, played for years for the Dallas Cowboys. Roger Staubach, check. 90s Cowboys, Troy Aikman, staple quarterback, plays for the Cowboys a long time. Okay, get players around him, win Super Bowls. Check. Same thing happened with Roger. But then we started going through quarterbacks. I mean, just going through them, one after the other. We brought in Bernie Kosar, man. We brought in, when you think about some of the quarterbacks we brought in here, man, we were trying to find that quarterback. Then we get Bill Parcells, we get Tony Romo. As much as Tony Romo made some bad mistakes, I'll still say the Cowboys didn't put the players around Tony Romo. I don't think they put the players around Tony Romo. They put some players around Tony Romo. Somebody tell me who was Dez Bryant. Who was the wide receiver opposite of Dez Bryant? I mean, who? Terrence Williams? Who? When did the Cowboys go out there and really say, hey, man, let's go out there and get Dez Bryant, a true running mate? When you look at Tom Landry put together some of the best defenses you ever seen in your life. Roger Staubach had some of the best defenses opposite of him you ever had in your life. Tom put great offensive lines in front of Roger Staubach. Great running backs behind him. Great wide receivers flanked out left and right. Great tight ends. Tom Landry understood something. For as great as your quarterback is, Marcus, you got to put great players around him. Deion Sanders said something that people don't even understand how incredibly wise Deion Sanders is. They were asking Deion Sanders about wide receivers. And Deion Sanders said something, Marcus, that I thought was incredible. He said, no, y'all don't understand something about the era I played in. You didn't have to just worry about Jerry Rice. You had to worry about everybody. You had to worry about guys like Steve Young. You had to worry about guys like Ricky Waters. You had to worry about stalwarts. You had to worry about multiple players on these teams in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s especially. You had to worry about multiple players. This is one of the mistakes, Marcus, that Jerry has made. Jerry has never had a problem acquiring talent in certain positions. What Jerry has failed to do is do a good job of putting the players around the talent. He's failed for 31 years. He hasn't put the talent, the players around the talent. Okay, Jerry, you got me. You get me the players. Go back and look at those 90s teams. The unsung heroes is everybody not named Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin, Alvin Harper, Charles Haley, Deion Sanders, everybody who doesn't have those names. They were the unsung heroes because they were the players that played so well, they allowed dominant players to dominate. Dominant players aren't dominant with below average players. Say it louder for the people in the back. Michael Jordan was a great player. He was a dominant player. But he didn't dominate until he got Scottie Pippen. Shoot. Michael Jordan with Scottie Pippen was a whole different animal. Whole different animal. He was absolutely a whole different animal. This is the problem that Jerry has had. He hasn't put players around the talent. Quarterback isn't enough. Sorry. Quarterback and the running back isn't enough. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver isn't enough. No. I need players that play good. I need players that are above average. I need players with a mentality of an absolute dog so that my dominant players can dominate, because the only thing they have to worry about is what they do best. Our problem is we got Dak Prescott in here talking about we only go as far as Dak Prescott goes. That's a terrible mentality. That's a terrible mentality. To say you only go as far as Dak Prescott take you? What? No, we didn't say that about Roger Staubach. We didn't say that about Troy Aikman. The Cowboys are so good in the 90s, we saw Troy Aikman go down, and the Cowboys were threatening to go on a Super Bowl run. We saw Roger Staubach go down during the time of Roger Staubach, and the Cowboys were threatening to do a Super Bowl run. Man, you got to put players. You got to put players around players. You got to put players around dominant players. You got to put, and you can never say, oh, we got enough. Nah, you ain't never got enough, man. You ain't never got enough. You outfit your team. I'm talking about all the way from the starters to the water boy or the water girl. You put together a team that can endure injuries, hardships, anything that may get thrown at it. You put a team together that can withstand everything. And when you put together a team that can withstand everything, I'm sorry, you got a dynasty on your hands. Shoot. You got a dynasty on your hands. The 90s Cowboys withstood Jimmy Johnson getting fired and still won under Barry Switzer standing on the sideline with his arms folded up. Shoot, going to pool parties, calling the practice off. Why? Because Jimmy built a team that could endure that. Now, they couldn't endure too much further after that. You still need that dog leading you. But man, the thing that Jerry, I've said this before, Jerry has never had a problem putting together talent, man. What Jerry has had a problem with is putting together teams. He can't put together a team, man. And so we're finally seeing let's transition.
Yes! Here we go!
We're finally seeing that Jerry is waking up. Okay, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Jerry is finally realizing something. I need to change the way I'm doing some things. I need to change the way we're managing the money. I need to change the coaches. I need to change the mentality of some of the coaches. I need to get me some coaches that really want to come in here and win. And then get players that fit the system that those coaches want to implement. Yeah, Jerry, you're finally getting it, right? You got to put players around dominant players so that dominant players can dominate. Dak ain't going to dominate if you don't keep him standing up. Dak isn't going to dominate if you don't get him the running back. Javonte Williams isn't going to dominate unless you got CeeDee Lamb and unless you got George Pickens. CeeDee Lamb is not going to dominate the way he can without George. George isn't going to dominate the way that he can without CD. Dak isn't going to dominate without a line in those two wide receivers. He's not going to dominate unless Ryan Flanoy can step up and say, hey, I got two wide receivers that can dominate, so now I can step in and I can do some things. You're not going to dominate. Quinnen Williams, he can't dominate unless you get him a pass rusher. Quinnen Williams can't dominate if you're not going to get him a crew of linebackers that can stop the run. Quinnen Williams can't dominate if you can't get him a defensive backfield that doesn't give up big plays. Everybody is playing off of everybody. And when you get a dominant player like Quinnen Williams, get him the players. Get the players around him so he can dominate. So he doesn't have to worry about being triple teamed. Because we don't even have to worry about double teaming anybody else. We can triple team Quinnen, and we can stop somebody who's rushing the quarterback like a Sam Williams with a running back. Stop it. We saw Sam Williams against the Carolina Panthers getting blocked off the screen by a wide receiver. Stop it. Gotta get players. Gotta get players around dominant players. That's how you build a team. That's how you do it. Jerry is finally starting to realize this. Thankfully, some of y'all going to get to see the Cowboys actually win a Super Bowl, and some of these young folks are going to probably finally get to see the Cowboys win a Super Bowl in their lifetime. But, man, I'm telling you, watching Emmitt Smith, man, I'm sorry to have me reminiscing, y'all. Boy, I'm telling you, boy, people do not realize how great these doggone Cowboys were, boy. Don't realize how great these Cowboys were. Boys was off the chain.
Yes!
All right, so there's a story out there circulating. The Cowboys are one draft away. And maybe even one player away from what they're saying. It's a story that was circulating around over here on ESPN and had people losing their minds today. Let me see here. Had people losing their mind. Peter Schrager has already got people fired up talking about the Cowboys getting Caleb Downs. And so a lot of people are saying that if they get Caleb Downs, that Caleb Downs could be that one player, or whoever else could be that one player that really propel the Cowboys to that next level. So let me read a couple comments, then we're going to get to that. What's going on, Michael H? He said Dak is a very good quarterback, but he needs people around him. That is not a slight. Michael H, I got news for you. They all do. Michael H, they all do. Show me a quarterback that won the Super Bowl. I'm going to show you they got a team around him that is absolutely incredible. John Elway couldn't win that thing until Terrell Davis came and ran. Terrell Davis for 2 years was one of the most dominant running backs I ever seen in my life. All of them need players. People be talking about Joe Montana. Do we not realize the players that Joe Montana had around him? Loaded with players. Loaded down. Name me a quarterback, and I guarantee you I can show you where that quarterback was loaded down with great players around him. Dominant players, great players, good players. Loaded down. Show me a quarterback that's won a Super Bowl every single time. I'm going to show you a quarterback that's got a great team. I don't know if you can narrowly name a quarterback barely that won a Super Bowl without a great team. They all need players around them. They all do. All the greats need players around them because it's the players around them that let them be great. The real Daryl said nobody wants to see that secondary from last season, this season. Guys in zone or man and getting beat by 10 steps. Oh, yeah. Terrible. 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 Rombowski said, well, whether it be in the 90s or today, playing quarterback in the NFL is a tough job as much as it is much less having to also be the bad cop coach too. Troy was right to be ticked off at Barry for it. Yeah. But Barry proved he could still win a Super Bowl. Barry said I can win a Super Bowl with what Jimmy built. Standing on the sideline. That's what happened when you got a great team. Jeremy Best said Jerry ain't want to have an alpha dog at coach is what's been the hang up with Jerry, and that just domino to all the rest of the infrastructure of the team. Yeah. I can get with you. Now, Jeremy Betts, now you tell me if you think that I'm wrong on this. Or you give me what you think on this, Jeremy Betts. Brian Schottenheimer's a different kind of alpha dog, if you ask me. He's a different kind of alpha dog. Brian Schottenheimer is not an alpha dog as in a pit bull or a Rottweiler. There was a very popular dog when I was growing up. There was 2 popular dogs when I was growing up. And the one popular dog when I was growing up was the German Shepherd. And I kind of put Brian Schottenheimer in the category of an alpha dog as in a German Shepherd. Because German Shepherds are some of the smartest dogs in the world. There was a time that everybody wanted a German Shepherd. And the thing that I give Brian Schottenheimer credit for is that Brian Schottenheimer seems to be the first coach that I can remember since maybe Jimmy that can actually talk to Jerry in ways to where it seems that Jerry is really listening to Brian Schottenheimer. He's really listening to him. And Brian is that type of dog that he's building the mentality that he's trying to use. He's trying to use a different type of mentality. He's trying to build toughness and all of those things. I believe he's trying to do that. But the way he's trying to build it, he's trying to build it by family. Brian is trying to put together a team that says, I have your back. We're gonna have each other's back. and we're going to play together as a family. Not just a team. We're going to play together as a family. And so I feel like Brian is a German Shepherd. You know, he'll get with you. He'll do some discipline. He'll do some cursing you out and things like that. But at the same time, he's also a very smart guy, as he knows what to say and what not to say in this new era. He knows how to deal with YNs. He knows how to deal no matter if you're black, white, yellow, green, or purple. Brian Schottenheimer can survive in those environments. So I believe that we are getting back to some of that. It's just the way that Brian is doing it. And we're going to see if it plays off, because Christian Parker, I believe, is the same type of guy. I really do. Same type of guy. And I think it's going to pay dividends. JCT Slicey says the Eagles added a team that made the Super Bowl, made it a super team, won a Super Bowl, and hurts Eagles fans are still crying about help. Yeah. Let that have been that. Yeah, you got to put them players around those guys, man. It's just bottom line. Bottom line, you got to put those players around. Asante Turner, he said, Emmitt Smith was my childhood idol and the reason why I became a Cowboys fan in 1990, his rookie year in the NFL and my rookie year in the PAL football, and still to this day, I'm a Cowboys fan. Yeah, man, Emmitt was incredible. He's absolutely incredible, man. Oh, yeah, Big Rumbowski. Hey, Rumbowski, not only did Montana have a coach, he also had an architect coach. That's what people don't realize about Joe Montana. His coach was an architect of a certain offense, that West Coast offense. I mean, that's all him. That's all him. So, coaching matters. Players matters. All right. So let's listen to this article real quick over here from ESPN and see what they're talking about with the Cowboys.
ESPN's Peter Schrager released his mock draft on Tuesday morning. He does two of these, one the week of the draft, one this week. So no surprise, Fernando Mendoza projected to go number 1 overall to the Raiders. He also has the Titans selecting running back Jeremiah Love at number 4 overall, and the Cowboys taking safety Caleb Downs at number 12. So Christian Parker gets a star defensive player, first year defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Kevin, as we look at like the intriguing questions around the draft, obviously there's a lot of buzz this time of year. What is the most intriguing one you're following?
From a team building standpoint, it's Dallas Cowboys. We've got 2 picks, 12 and 20.
Okay, thank you, Asante. Okay, came from HBCU, smaller school HBCU. We're talking about Jerry Rice. Okay, thank you.
And when I look at teams that can be one player away, one difference maker away from actual contention, from division championships, the Cowboys are at the top of my list. If they hit on a Ruben Bain at 12, who's been mocked there in a couple of ESPN, Field Yates, Matt Miller, Mel Kiper type of mock drafts over the last month, if they hit on a Caleb Downs, if one of those guys falls to them either because of positional value with Downs or because of the arm length with Bain, I run to the podium to take either of those guys because they need front seven and they need secondary. Either of those guys changes the culture immediately. The draft picks for Jerry Jones are never a problem. It's what happens after the draft picks. Now, I know in 2009 they drafted a DB named Stephen Hodge before Jason McCourty. Massive mistake, but typically they're able to nail these draft picks, okay? And I think they're going to understand Ruben Bain and Caleb Downs, 2 guys who dominated in big games, who played a lot of high-level football. Those are plug-and-play year-one guys. The Cowboys are not far off, guys. We know how high.
All right, so y'all tell me. I like what he's saying. So if we get Caleb Downs, how good do y'all believe Caleb Downs makes the Dallas Cowboys? How good do you believe Caleb Downs makes the Dallas Cowboys? Does Caleb Downs, with everything the Cowboys have done, does Caleb Downs take the Cowboys, for example, does he make the Cowboys defense 10, 20, 30% better? What are your thoughts? Now, I'm wondering, you got Jalen Thompson. You bring in Caleb Downs. So I'm sure that he would take the other safety spot. So where does that put you as a defense? Where do you think that puts you? Hey, Queen, what's going on? Good to see you. How much do y'all think that Caleb Downs, just getting Caleb Downs, because he said the Cowboys are one player away. Do y'all believe that Caleb Downs really takes the Cowboys defense to another level? Rumbowski said if Downs does actually fall to 12 and with the signing of Jalen Thompson, then can we finally give Hooker his walking papers? I think that's what's going to happen. You get Caleb Downs, there's no way you keep Malik Hooker. But again, and you probably do still keep Malik Hooker this year. I mean, because you probably want that depth if you can keep him. I don't think they're paying him a whole lot. But how much do y'all think of Caleb Downs really improves the Cowboys defense? David Everett said 5%. Poobie D said Downs can play both spots and play nickel. Yep. Newhouse says, I say Downs 20 to 30% better in the secondary. Okay. Doomsday Cowboys. He says Reuben Bain and Caleb Downs are both there at 12. I'm taking Reuben Bain because we have to affect the quarterback. I would take Reuben Bain too if he was there at 12. I agree with you. Man, I'm telling you the draft is going to be weird. I'm not going to be surprised if Reuben Bain is there. I just wouldn't be surprised. Sebastian Shaw, he says the most impactful player on defense, highest paid non-quarterback position is the edge rushers. Michael Parsons, Will Anderson. Yeah. Problem is, I think you got to get players around those guys if you really want to win Super Bowls. Because Myles Garrett up in this thing getting 23, 24, 25 sacks, can't remember. But he ain't winning no dang Super Bowls. Yeah, Rose, I'm with you. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Yeah, I think Sonny Styles will be incredible, Newhouse. I do. Yeah, Sante, again, I don't think he's the best runner. I just keep saying he's not the best running back. I think Emmett's the best overall running back when you think about everything he brought to that team. It's absolutely incredible. Pure Gaming, he said edge or cornerback will help them more than Downs. We're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that in just a moment too. Caleb Downs knee injury is true or false? I don't know. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and that may be one of the reasons why he falls to the Cowboys. King James said 2 picks in the Jordan Brooks away. Man, I still want Jordan Brooks. And don't be surprised if the Cowboys make that trade. But I think the Miami Dolphins, let me tell you something about all of these teams versus what we did last year with Michael Parsons. Have y'all noticed that all of these players, that all of these teams say they don't want to trade? Hell, have y'all noticed what they've done this year? They've said they don't want to trade those players while making those players readily tradable. The Raiders went from not doing it to doing it to not doing it. I believe it's going to be out there again. Myles Garrett, they didn't say he was tradable, but they made him tradable. And I believe on the first night of the draft, I will not be surprised if he gets traded. You're going to see a lot of this. And I believe these Jonathan Grenards and Jonathan Brooke type players, even Dexter Lawrence. These teams, have y'all all noticed what they've done? Before the draft. They're all getting it out there before the draft. And I believe the player and the teams are both complicit in what they're doing. Oh, no, we're not going to trade Myles Garrett. Meanwhile, let's see the trade offers come in. Oh, yeah, we don't want to trade Dexter Lawrence. Let's watch the trade offers come in. Now, David Mulligata and Michael did play a very good game. You don't act a fool until after the draft because you're trying to put the Cowboys in the chokehold. But if Jerry really was saying that they had been thinking about trading Micah all along, if Jerry really had that thought process, he would do exactly what these teams are all doing. They're putting it out there early. Oh, yeah, we ain't going to trade. When you start telling me you're not going to trade a player, you're telling me make an offer. That's all you're telling me, make an offer. Make an offer that I can't refuse. Because if you make me an offer that I can't refuse, breaking news, the player that they said couldn't be traded is being traded. Sebastian said the Cowboys could draft Orville Reese. He ain't going to be there. They're going to trade up to get Orville Reese. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Doomsday said, I don't want the Cowboys taking hurt players. I don't either. I don't care who it is. Don't take any player coming off an injury. Don't take them. Do not do it. Cedric Hamilton said, I'm not sure about Downs' covering skills. Somebody released a video today about Caleb Downs' covering skills. I'll see if I can find it if we have time. Newhouse fam said, give me Styles and Jordan Brooks will live out. The linebackers will be different. I agree with you there. Problem is, you're not going to be able to get, I think you're going to have a hard time getting Sonny Styles unless you trade up. Superman said, Dallas defense should be at least 40% better than last year. Superman, let me tell you why I agree with you. Let me tell you why I agree with you. I believe Christian Parker and BT Jordan. Brandon. I believe Christian Parker and Brandon Jordan, I'm sorry. They are automatically going to make the defense about 20% better. Somewhere around 20% better. Them and the coaching staff. I believe they'll be about 20% better without talent acquisition. With talent acquisition, what they've already done, I think that'll make them about 25 to 30% better, if not a little bit more. If they can get another trade like a Jordan Brooks, I think it'll make them about 35% better to 40% better. And if they go in the draft, and we're only talking about the first round, no, I think the real pivotal pick for the Cowboys, I think the real pivotal pick is going to be that third round pick. You either trade that for Jordan Brooks or you make sure you get a player. That is a pivotal pick in this draft for the Cowboys. I think 12 and 20, I think it's going to be good anyway. But that third round pick, you got to make that thing count. I don't think there's a linebacker in this draft you can get better than Jordan Brooks. If I were the Cowboys, I would see if I could get Jordan Brooks. I would. I absolutely would. JCT said we got to load up on the impact players on defense. If we do that, we can help Dak Prescott get over the hump. Yeah. I think the defense is going to be better. We're only talking about pick 1 and 2. I'm thinking about that third round pick. I'm thinking about those other picks the Cowboys have because those picks are going to go a long way also in the depth of the Dallas Cowboys and things that they're going to be able to do. Let's listen to some more of what he had to say. Check this out.
The floor is on that offense. They only need to get to average on defense to win that division. Give me Bain, give me Downs, give me real deal Cowboys contention in 2026.
The Cowboys, amongst all other 31 other teams, made a mistake not drafting me higher up, but that's another story for another day.
How could you?
Can I play devil's advocate? And you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
They've made some moves, Rashan Gary, Jalen Thompson in the secondary on the defensive side of the ball. You're of the belief that 2 rookies can come in and completely change everything for that defense where they were bottom of the barrel last year, couldn't figure out enough with an offense with Dak Prescott that was unbelievable at the top of the league. So now you're going to say just 2 rookies. They come in from day one, and those are the guys setting the culture, making a huge difference that now we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys playing in the Super Bowl. That much belief in a Reuben Bain and a Caleb Downs?
Yes. You only need to get to average. I'm not saying Bain or Downs or whatever combination of that, and then when you get another guy at 20, maybe you get a corner at 20, okay? So let's take one of those guys, then a corner.
Now, let me tell y'all, if y'all haven't paid attention, let me tell you the theory that they're working off of. And I'm sure all of y'all know the theory that they're working off of. The theory they're working off of is if the Cowboys can just get the defense to average, the offense is so good that an average defense puts the Cowboys in the playoffs. Because Emmitt Smith said the same thing. Jerry Jones said the same thing. Had we played a lick of defense, Emmitt Smith said that sorry A defense. We've all said if they would have just been a little bit better at defense, we could go to the playoffs because we probably win about 3 more games. This is the theory that he's going off of. And inside of that theory of getting a couple of extra players, Christian, Parker, Brandon, Jordan. Yes, they're figuring this all into the equation. All of this, they're figuring into the equation.
Mm-hmm. And then you're talking about just getting to 15, 14, 13, something like that. They don't need to be top 5. They don't need to be top 5. They're going to score so many points. They have a new DC, as you mentioned, in Christian
Didn't
Parker.
I tell you?
You just need to be mediocre.
I hadn't watched this video. I'm telling you, this is the theory of a lot of people. And I can't say that I disagree with it. They probably would have won about 3 more games last year with a better. I'm not even talking about a mid-pack defense. You're talking about if the Cowboys would have had the number 22 overall defense. I believe they beat the Carolina Panthers. I believe they beat the Arizona Cardinals. They win, who was it? The New York Giants beat us at the end of the season. I believe they beat the New York Giants. I believe we beat the Philadelphia Eagles on that first game of the season. I believe we beat the Green Bay Packers if we would have had a better defense. That's 5 games I just named. Not with the number 1 defense. We're talking with a number 20 or 22 defense. And with the offense that we have, you probably beat those teams. Rico Dowdle with a number 22 defense don't get to tell you to buckle up and you don't buckle up. You probably win 4 to 5 more games. And you get in the playoffs. And you possibly win a playoff game. You absolutely possibly win a playoff game in the NFC last year with a better defense. So I can understand exactly what he's basing this on, and he's already said it. Because they're going to put up so many points. Poobie D, I saw your comment. I'm with you exactly. I hope we don't take a step back offensively. And I hope the Cowboys don't start gambling, thinking, we don't need George. We can just go draft somebody. We'll trade George, get that 2nd round pick, rescind the tag and trade him for a 2nd or something like that. No. George is an integral part of what we're doing. Don't subtract anything on this defense. What's going on, Katharina? Good to see you. But I see exactly what he's saying. Oh, hey, B-Dunk. Yes, sir. B-Dunk. We probably beat the Vikings, too. Yep. Probably beat the Vikings, too.
I wake up every day and say, just be mediocre. And look at me. I'm thriving. And so I just think there's something very tangible about both Bain and Downs. And first of all, Downs, I had Ryan Day on my show last week. He said that Caleb Downs may have been the best high school player he's ever seen in his entire life. He could play running back, Day said, in college or in the pros. That's how athletic he is. That's how good he is in space. So yes, day one, he can play in the NFL and make a difference. Bain, his motor, his run defense, the ability for him to get to the quarterback, the fact that he plays so smart. And I think a lot of times when you play defense, so you'll get this, but a lot of times we don't talk about clutch pass rushers enough. He knows how to set up a move in the second quarter to get to winning time in the fourth quarter and get to the quarterback. That's going to translate in the NFL.
You keep mentioning Ruben Bain, and in Peter Schrager's mock draft at 20, which is their pick that they have for Green Bay, he has them taking Akeem Mesidor, so another Miami guy.
Who's 25 years old. Again, another day one ready to play type of guy.
That's where I want to go with this, Jason, because not too long ago, I remember that this Cowboys team was interested in Max Crosby before he was traded to the Raiders. They obviously don't get their star pass rusher then, but is Mesidor a day one impact, change the complexion of that defensive front guy in your mind?
I think it's a combination because now when you get a guy like Akeem Mesidor and you have a guy like Rashan Gary on the other side, now you're implementing a rookie and a veteran both there to be able to impact, get after the quarterback. But also I think the biggest part is being able to stop the run along with that, having an edge setter on the outside like a guy like Mesidor that can do those style of things because for the Dallas Cowboys and Christian Parker, you're implementing a new defense and you want to set a new tone. So you want to bring guys in that go with that. So to your point, a Caleb Downs, a Mesidor, Bain, whoever it is you want to implement in that, those guys are coming with an attitude that is new to Dallas that you want everybody to know. When they turn the film on, this is a Christian Parker type of defense, and we're getting after you.
The other thing with Mesidor, and it's true of Bain too, they can kick inside. Mesidor in 2024 was playing a little bit of pass coverage. I mean, they can do a lot of.
I want to throw up real quick. I want y'all to check out the comment. I'm pretty sure y'all already seen it. But Mr. 72 Chevelle, this is a great point. The problem is all talk about top 15 players. And I'm hoping the Cowboys are smart, 72. This is one of the reasons why I say if everything is off the board that the Cowboys could possibly want, I say trade back. We got to, I think we're brainwashing ourselves this year. This is the most, 72 Chevelle. You tell me. This is the most, and maybe I'm just haven't been paying attention, but this is the most we've talked about the top 11 players, and it's probably because the Cowboys are at number 12. This is the most that we've talked about the top 11 players in the draft that I can remember. And I think it's because we really want Reuben Bain Jr., we want David Bailey, we want Caleb, Sonny Styles, Bain. We want these players. And so this is all we're talking about. But I agree with you, 72 Chevelle. I believe that there are players that are not top 15 players. I believe that there are players within the top 30 defensive players. And I'm talking strictly defense. Within the top 30 defensive players that the Cowboys are absolutely going to have access to, that can absolutely come in and they can help this team to win. And probably, and understand what I'm telling you, if we're really banking on the scheme, Christian Parker and Brandon Jordan, I'm not saying we can bring in any player, but what I am saying is that you can probably bring in any of the top 10 cornerbacks in this draft, top 10 linebackers in this draft, top 10 edge rushers in this draft, and still be absolutely great on defense. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't think it's about getting just this one guy. I mean, because those men, how many times have guys come into the league? I mean, what was that guy named? Jamal Adams. Man, everybody thought Jamal Adams was going to be the next best thing since sliced bread. Where is he now? So many of these defensive players, people will put all of their stake in. And some of these great defensive players, man, these aren't even people that got picked in the first and second and third rounds. I think we are overemphasizing in some respects. All of us. I think we're overemphasizing that top 11. And I know why we're doing it, because the Cowboys are picking at 12. Good evening, Miss Matrix. I know why we're doing it. I'm not knocking us for doing it, but I know why we're doing it. But there are absolutely players in the top 30 of all these defensive players. And I've asked this before. What's the drop-off? What's the drop-off from Caleb Downs to Thieneman? What's the drop-off? Let's be honest. What's the drop-off when you look at the tape? What's the drop-off? Are we talking Grand Canyon? I'm sure we're not talking Grand Canyon. Are we talking like jumping off the couch to the floor? Roof to the ground? Or the Empire State Building to the ground? I'm going to show y'all the tape today on Dylan Thieneman. There are guys out there. There are guys out there that can absolutely, they are going to absolutely, if the Cowboys get them, they are absolutely going to be able to come on this team and do some damage too. They absolutely are. 72 Chevelle said we want the big names. You're right. I think all of us have been guilty of it, 72 Chevelle. Probably need to do a little repenting on that. He said, but there are so many other defensive players which fit our team as to 12 to no names but I have seen as to 12 to names but I have seen other players. Yeah, there are other players. There are other players out there. There are other players out there. There is no doubt about it. Oh, I'm with you, Katharina Kiss. We better not trade George. And I don't think we are going to trade George. No, you don't trade George. You don't trade gold for bronze. Yeah, we ain't trading George. All right, let's listen a little bit more.
Things. The reason Mesidor broke out so late in his career is Miami had made him gain a bunch of weight the year before, made him play defensive tackle. Bain was injured in 2024, and so it was such a weird defensive line. But Mesidor can do so many things. I think that'd be a home run pick for the Cowboys if you go a guy like Downs at 12.
Yeah. We both think foregone conclusion. Both of their first-round picks spent on defense.
I think it has to be, but I don't think that's. We're talking about Jerry.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a foregone conclusion.
They're going receiver at number 12.
Yeah,
No, I do not want to see a receiver
we're in top
12.
30 season before the NFL draft, 2 weeks away, and this is where teams get to bring players into the building, to get to ask them a lot of questions, to get to know them a little bit better. And I do wonder, how about this for a transition? Do they ask them, how old is too old to sleep with a stuffed animal? Now, Jason was on Sports.
Again, '72 JaVale.
Let him cook.
72 JaVale. He said so many players all over this land just as good, if not better. I'm not a mock draft person. I never been, me neither. I did it last year because that's what everybody does, but I'm not a big fan of. That's why I haven't done it yet. I watch other teams, not just top 25.
Let him cook.
Yes, sir. You cooking with bacon. Yeah, bro. Cooking with bacon grease. Bacon grease. So, again, man, I think there are players out here, and there are other players. Because I'm just going back to what Christian Parker said out of his own mouth. The good players can play in any scheme. They don't have to come off the field when you go from 3-4 to 4-3. They don't have to come off the field. And I've talked about this before, and I'm going to bring it back up again. I mean, when you look at the cornerbacks that are in this draft, I've asked this question before. Now, I'm a little bit leery of Jamad McCoy coming off that injury, even though he looked good in his pro day. If the Cowboys don't get Mansour Delane, Avion Terrell is there if they wanted a cornerback. How good is Colton Hood? How good is Brandon Sis? How good is Chris Johnson? How good is D'Angelo Pons? Somebody is going to get some very good cornerbacks later on back here in the draft. Maybe the Cowboys wait to a third and get them a cornerback. Maybe they wait. Cedric says the reason everyone's talking about the top 15 players is because they are healthy. The rest of the defensive players after 12 are dealing with injuries. Well, some of the players, and one in particular, Caleb Downs, coming off an injury. Rumbowski said, stupid analyst, Jerry's not going wide receiver at 12. He's going offensive line. But again, I think it's going to require, Rising Star said Terrell is too slow. It's going to require some scouting, but there are some players out there I believe the Cowboys can get a cornerback, safety. I believe Dylan Thieneman is going to be there for the taking. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, I think the Cowboys had a meeting with him. I think he's going to be, he'll be available. The Cowboys will be able to get him. There are other guys back here. A.J. Halsey, Kamari Ramsey, Genesis Smith. I mean, there are guys in this draft I'm sure they can play. What's going on, Rico Jones? Good to see you. Other players that can absolutely play. I mean, you look at the linebacker position. I mean, C.J. Allen is going to be out there. I'm telling you who my pick is. My pick is Jacob Rodriguez. The reason why my pick is Jacob Rodriguez, if you're not going to get the Orville Reeses and the Sonny Styles, the reason why Jacob Rodriguez is my pick for the Cowboys, super smart. And that don't mean anybody else is dumb, but what I mean by he's super smart, he's an ex-quarterback turned linebacker. He thinks like a quarterback. He sees the field like a quarterback. Kind of can understand tendencies of a quarterback. I want Jacob Rodriguez. That's who I want. I want the Cowboys to trade back and get Jacob Rodriguez. I think Jacob Rodriguez is the perfect fit for Christian Parker's system. Christian Parker said he wants smart players. Jacob Rodriguez. 128 tackles, 1 sack, 6 passes defended, 4 interceptions, 7 forced fumbles. Man, this guy Jacob Rodriguez is a playmaker. I would love for the Cowboys to get him. Absolutely would love for the Cowboys to get him. I mean, even when you look at edge. Okay, you're not going to get Orville Reese, David Bailey, Reuben Payne Jr. Keldrick Falk will be there. Akeem Mesdor, the Cowboys will have an opportunity to get. TJ Parker. TJ Parker, Cassius Howell, Zion Young. But nevertheless, if the Cowboys don't get the opportunity at the first 3, they can absolutely get Keldrick Falk and Akeem Mesdor. Absolutely. What's wrong with that? They can get these 3. I mean, they can get these guys, Keldrick Falk, Akeem Mesdor. They can get those 2. They can get those 2. Why not? You don't lose the draft if you don't get Orville Reese or David Bailey. We do know that they're going to bad teams, right? One of the best things that could happen to them is that if they got drafted to the Cowboys on a team with a good offense and on a defense that's on the come up. But again, Mills, what's going on, Mills? We're going to talk about that left tackle position in a moment. Yes, sir. Rose said he'll take Jacob Rodriguez. Hey, I want Jacob Rodriguez. Shoot, man. I want Jacob Rodriguez. Freddie Morella said, call me crazy, but Shotty should send his scouts to the small schools there. Or a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of players there. I mean, what did Harvey Morton, Too Tall Jones, Bob Lilly, Cliff Harris, and where they come from, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this playing and tackle in just a moment, Poobie D. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. Yeah, Charlie Waters, boy, I remember Charlie Waters, Freddie Morales. I'm showing my age. I remember him. Every what up? But again, man, the Cowboys, the draft isn't lost. What's going on, Stephen White? The draft isn't lost. And I hope we all have this attitude. The draft isn't lost if we don't get Orville Reese. It's not lost if we don't get Jeremiah Love, Sonny Styles, Cornell Tate, David Bailey, Reuben Payne Jr., Mansour Delane, Caleb Downs. It's not lost. There are plenty of players out there. Even for my brother, Frank Lawrence. Frank Lawrence, he loves Jeremiah Love. So do I. If the Cowboys want to get a running back in the 3rd round, if they so chose, or if they want to get a running back in the 5th round, I got news for us. There is going to be some running backs in this draft that could possibly be pretty good. Jadarian Price, watch out. He might be pretty good. You got Mike Washington Jr., Jonah Coleman. I mean, there are some runners back here if you say you want to bring in a running back even though I don't think they are. I think they're going to give Phil Moffitt his opportunity. And I don't know. We'll see what happens with Jaden Blue. But I think they're going to give Phil Moffitt his opportunity. And but there are players back here. The draft isn't going to be lost if we don't get those top 10 players that everybody's talking about. The Cowboys just need to get good players that fit the system. And guys that got heart, do your due diligence. Get out there and get the right guys. Right. So let's talk about another story out there about the Cowboys moving up.
Yes! Here we go!
Now, the Cowboys are out here doing a lot of different work. And so the Cowboys are really disguising what they're going to do. Nobody really knows what the Cowboys are going to do in this draft. But everybody is suggesting a trade. We already know it's starting to come down even more and more. I've been hearing those guys over in Cleveland. They're talking about the Browns are interested in trading back. The Arizona Cardinals, I think they would trade back if they could get more players because they're probably going to try to get Ty Simpson. I'm not sure about the Jets. They're a poorly ran organization, so they could go backwards too. Who knows? Very poorly ran organization. So there are a lot of trade scenarios that are starting to come up for the Cowboys. Let me say this again. Poobie D, I'm agreeing with you. Mafia and Blue, I think they need their chance. Freddie said there's no shame in getting old. Yes, sir. It just means we have more experience than the rest. Yes, sir, my brother. El Chuco. 72 Javale said, he said, I'm a Notre Dame fan and I love, but there are more if 12 love is my pick. Yeah. Yeah, there are other ones out there. JCT said, Shady McCoy said recently that the Cowboys fans are the most delusional fans in all of sports. Your thoughts? Well, I would probably say we are in some sense. JCT Slice, delusion is relative. Everybody thinks everybody is delusional fans until their team wins the Super Bowl. So once our team wins the Super Bowl again, we won't be delusional. Bottom line. Bottom line. You know what I'm saying, my brother? All right, let's see here. So this is the story they're talking about over here about the Cowboys possibly moving up. Says one of the slew of possibilities for the Dallas Cowboys in the first round of the 2026 NFL draft is a trade up. And this is going to, you'll see how in a moment this is going to play into the 30 visits the Cowboys have had. The Cowboys trade up scenarios. Says the Cowboys should look to get aggressive in its quest to improve the defense, and the Cowboys are well equipped to be aggressive thanks to a pair of first-round picks, one at 12 and another at 20. So a lot of people are talking about this Cowboys NFL draft trade rumor. Matt Miller, the belief in the league circles is the Browns are willing to trade out of their top 6 pick. Yeah, these teams are being very open about they want to trade out of those top picks. It says it should be noted that some league-wide sources believe the Browns will trade the number 6 pick to Dallas, which is trying to move up for a pass rusher, Miller reported. But unfortunately, I believe that if you make that move, you're giving up something. Hard to see. It's hard to see why the Cowboys would be aggressive to move up. It's not hard to see why the Cowboys would be aggressive about moving up for an edge rusher. Says Dallas never replaced the sack production lost by Michael Parsons. And you want to know what's crazy? The Cowboys didn't replace the sack production, but what do they call it? The quarterback pressures was on point. They just couldn't get the quarterback down. And I think that's another reason why they need to get some guys on that edge that can chase quarterbacks. It says here there's still a hole to be filled opposite of Rashan Gary. But we're going to see what Donovan Ezra will do. He got his number 6 back. I'm not dealing with in all this NFL trade value chart. Because if you go by that doggone NFL trade value chart, the Cowboys are going to have to trade both of those picks. It says in an ideal world, the Cowboys will trade up, but still make their 2 first-round selections. But that might be impossible to do with Dallas not having any second-round picks to work with. So you'd have to give up those 2 number 1s. And according to this quote-unquote point system, the Cowboys would have to give up both of their first-round picks. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think the Cowboys are going to give up 2 first-round picks. What edge rusher could the Cowboys trade up for? And, of course, we already know it's either David Bailey or I think the 2 that we're talking about is David Bailey or Orville Reese. Those are the 2. Now, the reason why I think this is also coming up is let's look at these 30 visits by the Cowboys. And I think the 30 visits by the Cowboys is very telling. Let's check this out.
Yes! Here we go!
All right. Let me do some house. Okay. So when you look at the 30 visits by the Cowboys, I believe they're telling us some things. in the 30 visits. Let's see. And I've been looking at these 30 visits, and from what I'm identifying, the Cowboys.
We're gathered here today to bring together.
Who invites a husky guy?
The Cowboys have not yet had all of the 30 visits. Let me see here. All right, let me pull up the 30 visits real quick. I thought I had those. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me make sure this one is up to date. Okay, this one may be somewhat up to date. So let's look at this one over on A to Z Sports. So this is what the Cowboys have been doing on their 30 visits, and I think the Cowboys are basically telegraphing what they're doing on the 30 visits. Now, I wouldn't read too much into Omar Cooper. I don't think the Cowboys are going to get Omar Cooper. I don't. I think the Cowboys could be looking at Omar Cooper. According to Nick Harris, the Cowboys have done this before where they bring in wide receivers that they could possibly see in the division. I think this right here is a dream for the Cowboys. They brought in Sonny Styles. Probably not going to happen. They're hoping that maybe they can get Mansour Delane. Now on the defensive line, they bought in Conga. They bought in an edge, Kelly, UCF. Now, when you start going down the list, now notice what you're going to see. Cornerback, Charles Demings, Stephen F. Austin. Cornerback, Keontae Scott, Miami. Cornerback, Romello Height, Texas Tech. I wonder if the Cowboys need a cornerback. What do y'all think? Cornerback, Malik Muhammad, Texas. Safety, Kamari Ramsey, USC. Linebacker, Josiah Trotter, Missouri. Edge, linebacker, Arvell Reese, Dream. Caleb Downs, Ohio State, possibility. Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Toledo. I think this is a possibility. I think they could probably get him if they wanted him. Cornerback, Brandon Siss, South Carolina. Wide receiver, Chris Bell, Louisville. Edge, David Bailey, Dream. Probably not going to happen. Cornerback, Traden Stooks, Arizona. Cornerback, Chris Johnson. Not sure where he's from. But the Cowboys are kind of telegraphing like what they it's obvious the Cowboys need a cornerback, right? Yes, it's pretty obvious the Cowboys need a cornerback. Let me see if I can pull up the Blogging the Boys. I think they may have even some more updates here. Let's see if they got some that we haven't seen that I didn't name off. So, again, the rank for these players, second, and this is when you look at who the Cowboys have had to visit. To get these players, the Cowboys are going to have to trade up. Reese, Styles, Downs, Delane. I think Downs is going to fall. And so if the Cowboys want him, they're going to better get him. So these are some of the same names. Cooper, 24th. McNeil Warren, 26th. Scott, we already named these players. I was just trying to make sure there was somebody we didn't see. Dallas Day visitors. See who we got here. Eli Stores, James Brockmeyer, Preston Hodgie, J. Smith, Ashton Hawkins, Brady Boyd, Maximus Pulley, Will Jones. And don't rule out players the Cowboys actually haven't interviewed. I think the Cowboys have interviewed some obvious players, but I think they may hold close to the vest some of these other players that they may be interested in. Because I think they're interested in Jacob Rodriguez. I don't think there is no way the Cowboys are not interested in Jacob Rodriguez. So, I'm actually in the boat of I would literally wait to see who fell to me. I really would. If I'm the Cowboys, the only way I trade up is I wait till the 10th overall pick is picked. And if a player, I'm waiting somewhere to around the 10th. If I need to move up, maybe I'll move up one spot to get somebody. But I don't really think, I really think the Cowboys should just stay where they are. If anything, I think the Cowboys should trade back. Katharina says everyone is talking about they want to trade up to 6. Well, it sounds like to me they not only want to trade up to 6. I'll tell you what I'm hearing more. What I'm hearing, Katharina, what I'm hearing is the Cleveland Browns want to trade out of 6. That seems what it is. The Browns are trying to find a suitor. Now, that number 6 spot, if I'm the Cowboys, though, you tell me where you are, Katharina. This number 6 spot, I'm not trading. I'm struggling. I'm just telling y'all up front, I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with giving up 2 first-round picks. If you told me I could give up a first this year and a first next year, I could do it. But if you telling me I got to give up a 12 and a 20 for David Bailey, Reuben Bain Jr., Mansour Delane, or Caleb Downs, I'm probably in the minority on this. I can't do it. I can't give up a 12 and a 20. I can't. Not in this draft. I can't. I could give up a 12, but I can't give up a 12 and a 20. I cannot do it in this draft. I can't. I can't do it. Larry Golden, these are all small school players. Everson Walls, Cliff Harris, Cornell Green, all undrafted. Yeah. This is where scouting comes in. So when you look at all of this, it's no wonder what everybody's talking about. The Cowboys is pretty much telegraphing they need a cornerback, they need an edge, they need a safety. But I also think, too, y'all better get ready, but I think the Cowboys have a plan. Somebody brought this up earlier, one of the subjects we want to talk about today. Yeah, I'm with you, Katharina. No way I'm trading away 2 first. I could do 1, but I can't do 2. I can't do 2. Jeremy Bent said, I'm with you, trade back. I agree we need some more picks, not just for drafted players, but for players that are on the trade market also. Yeah, I'm trading backwards. I'm trading backwards. Actually, I'm going to try to trade backwards and get Jordan Brooks, get me a couple more draft picks. That's what I'm doing. Stephen White said, but you get number 39 back. Not good enough. Not for me anyway. I want to really capitalize on those first-round picks. Trade both of them back if the players you want aren't there. Get extra draft capital and get your 2 first-round picks. I'm trading back. All right, Mills said, I go left tackle at number 12. Is not happening. Be a potent run game, control the clock, similar to Philly in 2024. Now, Mills, let me show you something. Hold on. Doomsday said, I'm not moving up to 6. There are good pass rushers. You can get at 12 and 20. Yes, sir, I agree. David Everett, I agree with you. Draft smart. There it is. Now, there's another article over here. Cowboys got a plan that everybody's talking about. Let me see. Let me get my article right here. Cowboys got a plan that everybody's talking about. Okay, this is it. Hold on. Let me see. Did I get the right one? So, I don't think anybody is dumb. We got an offensive tackle problem. And we got to figure out Tyler Guyton sooner than later. The problem is with the Cowboys. And I don't think they're going to get a tackle in this, not in the first round. I don't think they're going to get a tackle. Now, if you told me they're going to get a tackle in the later rounds, I could believe it. I don't think they're going to get one in the first round. I told y'all this last year, and I'm telling you this again. The Cowboys already got a plan B at left tackle. The Cowboys already have a plan B at left tackle. And not only do they have a plan at left tackle, I think they've shown us the plan right before our eyes, and we're not realizing it. So, check out what they wrote. And I told y'all this before they wrote it. It says there is a clear message the Cowboys are sending. They're betting on their offensive linemen, and that has major implications. Watch this. The right tackle situation is clear. The Cowboys and Terrence Steele agreed to a rework deal that featured a pay cut in exchange of guaranteed money. Excuse me. But the left tackle spot is muddier, and it could even lead to an all-pro changing positions. Did I not tell y'all this last season? Plan A. Plan A starts with Tyler Guyton, who needs to take a big leap. No, he needs to take a Grand Canyon leap. He needs to take a big leap in year 3 of his career, and the coaching staff isn't being shy about it. Brian Schottenheimer said it's a big year for Tyler Guyton. Guyton's got a chance to be an elite player, but he's got to take that next step, and we have to help him get to that next step. I told y'all this last year. Schottenheimer added there's an action plan for Guyton to improve. Let me tell you something. Any of us who've ever been in the corporate world and managed people in the corporate world, let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. When I put you on an action plan, you 60% out the door. Shoot. Action plan. You are 60% out the door. Because if you need a plan, there's doubt. There is doubt wherever there is an action plan. Now, when you're first beginning something and you have an action plan, that's something different. But when you are already in motion and something isn't working and you have to create an action plan, that means that, bro, we are not only are we looking at giving you a chance, we're also looking at the option of you not playing here no more. Yeah. If I tell you you got to take a big step, you can't take a little step. That's what the action plan is for. And man, this is one of the reasons why I had to get out of the business. Because I'm telling you, because we would do action plans with people knowing full well they were going to fail. There would be some, they would rise to the occasion, but others, they would fail. And when we would sit down and go over the action plan, guess what we would tell them? You did this, and but these last 2 things you didn't do. Bye-bye. Rose, this is one of the biggest mistakes the Cowboys do. They bring in players from one position and try to convert them to another one. The man played more right than left. You're right. Katharina said, to me, Guyton is another Mozzie, and I'm glad he's gone. Well, I'm telling you right now, if Brian is making that public knowledge about Tyler Guyton better get on it. Because guess what plan B is? Check this out. The Cowboys gave us plan B, and we didn't even realize. And I told y'all what plan B was last year. The biggest thing for him will be having a great, healthy offseason. That's a major part of the plan for Tyler Guyton. Availability is your best ability. He hasn't been able to do it. And if you can't stay on the field, how do you get better? Tell me how you do it. How do you do it? Says while the Cowboys head coach is seeing upside to Guyton, that doesn't sound like a player who is guaranteed to start at left tackle. Watch this. If I tell you I see an upside to you, I'm also telling you, but I'm seeing the downside. Yeah, I see the upside because I'm seeing the downside. You ever notice that when a player is playing well, people don't say stuff like, yeah, he got potential. Oh, man, he got an upside. Oh, yeah, he got a high ceiling. You rarely hear that about players who are succeeding. You rarely hear that stuff. Plan B. While the Cowboys head coach sees the upside of Guyton, That doesn't sound like a player who is guaranteed to start at left tackle. Enter the all-pro implications. Surely, plan B is all about all-pro left guard Tyler Smith sliding outside to play tackle. Yep. It's written into the contract of Tyler Smith that he could be converted to left tackle. I got a strange feeling. If Tyler Smith is converted to left tackle, I bet you they worked a contract that says this is the money you will get when you move to left tackle. I guarantee you. But that ain't the other part of the plan B. Y'all ready for the other part of the plan B? Reading the tea leaves here, that would also explain the Cowboys' decision to use the second-round tender on backup lineman T.J. Bass, who has shown starting caliber play at guard. If Smith leaves his post at guard, Bass would take over. And Bass has been pretty doggone good whenever he's played. There's a reason why they kept T.J. Bass. Plan B. Plan B. Mills, I can tell you right now, if you are going for a Super Bowl, Mills, in 2026 and 2027, explain to me again why you're going to draft the left tackle who is unproven and find yourself in the same boat. Why would I go draft the left tackle when I got a player on my team that played at a Pro Bowl level at left tackle? Why would I do that? Why? Not only is he a Pro Bowl level tackle, left tackle, all pro level guard, he's working and has worked with an all pro left guard as in Ty Smith. Explain to me again, why am I going to keep kicking against the pricks? Why am I going to keep kicking against the pricks when I can easily just say, man, forget this crap? Why am I going to keep searching for a left tackle? Why am I going to keep working with Tyler Guyton? Move Ty Smith, left tackle, rework the contract, which we already got in place, put in T.J. Bass. And we'll worry about if we want to do that again next year. But this year, we locked in and we're not looking back. Man, we don't have time. We're not going to have time for this in a Super Bowl run. We can't be sitting up trying to decide on whether or not Tyler Guyton is good enough. Y'all tell me, what game are you going to finally say, man, Guyton ain't it? What game? Are you going to wait till you get into the season? Are you going to wait to mid-season? Are you going to wait until Dak Prescott gets his head knocked off? What are you going to wait on with Ty Smith? What are you going to wait on? What are you going to wait on? It don't make sense. Don't put yourself back in the same position, Mills. You already got a Pro Bowl level left tackle. They're hard to find. Duh. Does everybody not know that left tackles are hard to find? They're hard to find. You got a player on your team that's an absolute Rottweiler, Doberman Pinscher, boxer, pit bull all mixed in one in Ty Smith? Why are you kicking against the pricks? Move him to the left tackle position. Put in T.J. Bass at left guard. And you keep rolling. We ain't got time for that. You ain't got time to try to coach another left tackle up. You don't have time. And Tyler Guyton has got the Cowboys behind the 8-ball. Because if he doesn't turn out, what's the alternative? Yeah, I know what it is. It's Ty Smith. You can't play around with this, man. You're trying to go to the Super Bowl. We ain't got time. Gronkowski said Jerry wants to find himself and draft himself the next Tyron Smith. And that's why offensive tackle will be the number 12 pick. He said Boogie. Big Gronkowski. I got news for us. I know nobody is there's a lot of people might not agree with me. You already got the next Tyron Smith on the team. His name is Ty Smith. Did anybody not hear how Tyron Smith was talking about Ty Smith in his retirement speech? What? Tyron Smith did everything but tell this man, hey, man, claim, fill my shoes, go to left tackle. Left tackle is the most important position on the offensive line almost. Center and left tackle, man. There's a reason why left tackles, just like edge rushers, make a lot of money in this league. They protect the quarterback's blind spot, and I'm telling you, Tyler Guyton has literally almost got Dak Prescott's neck broke on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. Mikey Fresh. Any relationship to Dougie Fresh? Mikey Fresh, I'm showing my age again. Mikey Fresh. He said, remember Schottenheimer, Tyler Guyton wasn't his draft pick, so he moved on draft day in a draft trade. Don't be surprised if it happens. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, Mills, that's why they kept TJ Bass. TJ Bass is plan B. Welcome to the congregation, Angie the Rebel Chicks, my unofficial co-host. What's going on? I'm telling you right now, I told y'all this last year. Plan B is already on the team for Tyler Guyton. It makes no sense to go out there and draft another left tackle because you don't know if they're going to be any better than Tyler Guyton. And let me go back. I thought USMC, hey, USMC, salute. There isn't any tackles in the draft that you can confidently start at left tackle. Facts, 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 facts. On top of facts, USMC. If anything, if you're the Cowboys, you just go draft. I mean, if anything, you go trade for somebody at left tackle, maybe a veteran in this league. But again, you just don't have time to be out here trying to draft a replacement left tackle. You just don't. Especially when you got a guy on the team that can play left tackle. I don't care if you let him play left tackle for a season and let TJ Bass play guard for a season. But you got to do what you got to do. Man, again, y'all tell me, what's the time frame on Tyler Guyton? What's the time frame? Somebody help me out. What's the time frame? When do we determine he made the step? When do we determine it? What's the step? Staying healthy the entire training camp? I guess that would be one of the steps. Can he stay healthy the entire training camp? This man gets knocked out in training camp. We ain't even talking about regular season. Training camp. And then he gets knocked out in the regular season. Come on, man. Come on, man. Somebody tell me what game? Are we going to get into the games? Are we going to get to like game 8 and go, hey, man, Tyler Guyton ain't working out? What's your record by then? Because we about to play some show enough defenses that can rush the passer. What's your record by game 8? What's your record by mid-season? What's your record? Man, Cowboys, if they are truly trying to win the Super Bowl, man, they can't be playing around. They can't be waiting around. Guyton better show you who he is in training camp. Show me, brother. Show me when we play the Rams. Because y'all might not have realized it. The Rams, during that scrimmage last summer, they were a foreshadow of how bad the defense was. Man, let me tell you something. I was in total denial. I'm going to admit it. I got to tell the truth and stay in the church. I got to repent. I was in total denial. Oh, yeah. Even Brian Schottenheimer was telling us, oh, man, don't put no stock in training camp. Don't put no stock in the Rams playing the Cowboys and the Rams-Cowboys training camp series. Oh, we don't put no stock in that. You know what's strange to me? The Rams actually looked like the team during the season that played the Cowboys. And the Cowboys defense looked like the defense that played the Rams in that scrimmage in the doggone training camp season. They looked exactly like that defense. They were shredding the Cowboys. They had wide receivers running backs, tight ends, just running wide open. Even the running back was putting us on skates. Derrick Rose said if the boys don't fix left tackle position, Dak will be the best running back on the team, running for his life. You got to fix that left tackle position. Davion Wallace. Hey, me and you agreeing or disagreeing, I understand that. I'm not, no. Davion Wallace, let me ask you, why would you let Nate Thomas do something that he's not capable of doing? Why? Why would you let him do it? I watched, and go back and watch that Arizona Cardinal game. I watched Nate Thomas say uncle. I watched Nate Thomas say uncle. That man was getting blown off the ball. One of the defenders picked this man up with one hand and threw him out the way. I don't want to see no Nate Thomas at left tackle. Man, the Cowboys got to stop. Yeah, we're going to take a 7th round draft pick that everybody passed on, and we're going to let him protect the blind side of our $60 million a year quarterback. What? Man, no. Put somebody proven over there. Ty Smith can do it. You are better with Ty Smith at left tackle and Bass at left guard than you are with Tyler Guyton and Ty Smith at left guard. You're just better. You're just better. Davion Wallace, I don't even think Ty Smith needs to be a last resort. I really believe the Cowboys need to put the knee on the, don't let me say that. They need to put, extreme pressure on Guyton. The Cowboys need to put extreme pressure on Guyton. No walk through the talk. No walk through the park for Tyler Guyton. No, it's time for Jimmy Johnson, the old school Jimmy Johnson, to come out of somebody. Oh, you injured? Go over there on the field where the injured people are. Only the people who can stay healthy get to play on this field. No, I am not doing that with Nate Thomas. And we got to stop all this. Oh, yeah, but another year he going to be better. Really? How much better can he be? Because I'm watching this man get blown off the ball by the opposition. Man, Mills, Josh Sweat, man. Mills, tell the truth, Mills. Josh Sweat ate Nate Thomas up. What do you think going to happen to Nate Thomas when we get against these other teams we're going to be playing this year? Man, I ain't playing around with Nate Thomas. Cowboys don't need to either. Hey, I'm sorry. When I put you on an action plan, you understand you on an action plan. I'm sorry. When I used to put people on action plans, they knew you on an action plan. You do know what this means, right? Let's just cut to the chase. This is to make you better. But if you don't succeed, you out of here. Bottom line. Shoot, man, I'm putting tremendous pressure on Guyton. I need him to rise to the occasion. Newhouse said Guyton is a big old Amazon and should be crushing the defensive line. I need this man to rise to the occasion. I need him to rise to the occasion. We got to stop babying these players, and Jerry has done this stuff with some of these players that he likes too much. Nah, we got to stop babying them. Let these coaches put these guys on notice. What has Tyler Guyton done to get any kind of leeway from us to say, oh, yeah, man, we're going to keep on giving this guy a chance? Nah, this guy got to make a huge step. Rumboski said if Guyton was if Guyton was Jerry and Steven Call, then he doesn't get a walk through the park. He gets to tiptoe through the tulips for his whole rookie deal. You right. Because we want to be right so many times on players. Nah, bro. Guyton got to understand this is the man's league. Glenn Harrison said that's exactly what they need. They need Jimmy Johnson to come out of somebody. Man, I'm telling Guyton right now. Hey, David Everett, Guyton, put up a shut up. Shoot. I wish he would wince in training camp. If I'm the Cowboys, he wins in training camp. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't care if you got a low ankle sprain. Everybody talking about these high ankle. I don't care if you got a low ankle sprain. Go. You with the second team from here on out. You with the second team from here on out. I can't. I would have no patience for this stuff no more. Man, you trying to win the championship, man. Trying to win a championship. All right, let's move on.
Here we go.
So, the big Rumbowski sent me something over on X. And I thought this was very telling. They gave the rank of the 32 coaches in the NFL. They gave the rank of the 32 coaches. Angie, now think about what you said, Angie. I'm going to use what you said. And listen to what you said, how powerful it is. Angie the Rebel Chick said, Guyton needs to get with Tyron Smith. Angie, watch this. Tyler Smith has already gotten with Tyron Smith. That is the exact reason. And this isn't just me making this up. The Cowboys have put into the contract of Ty Smith that there is a possibility that he becomes the Dallas Cowboys left tackle. Why do y'all think they would put that in Ty Smith's contract? Do you think they put that in Ty Smith's contract because of Tyler Guyton? I'm telling you why they put this in this contract. You don't put that in that contract. Unless you're looking at Tyler Guyton and say, this man can't play left tackle. He's not progressing. I mean, Tyron Smith all but told them on his way out the door. Ty Smith is the heir apparent. He all but told them on the way out the door. He's the heir apparent. It's just up to the Cowboys to say he's the heir apparent. They've already worked it in his contract. You do not work something like that into a player's contract. I want y'all, let me just really give you what I'm saying. That's like working into the contract of CD Lamb. Hey, CD Lamb. So we got two different contracts for you right here. I mean, what do you mean you got two different contracts? Oh, by the way, your man is his birthday, and just your man CD Lamb's birthday. This is like the Cowboys sitting down, CD Lamb saying, hey, CD, sit down. We got two contracts. You're like, two contracts? Yeah, one of the contracts is for you to be the wide receiver for the team. This is what we're going to pay you. And, oh, okay, everything looks good on that. But this other contract, this is for you to be the backup quarter. This is for you to become the quarterback for Dak Prescott if something would have happened to Dak Prescott. Why would you be doing this? Why would I have CeeDee Lamb on a contract that converts to a quarterback contract if I had confidence in my backup quarterback? If I had confidence that Dak Prescott could stay healthy or whatever. They already have it in the contract of Ty Smith that there is a possibility that he could be the left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. Bottom line. Angie, don't speak it into existence yet. Angie, don't speak it into existence yet. But I think everybody is trying to fight this. And everybody is hoping, Angie, that he's not another Mozzie Smith. I mean, that's what everybody is hoping. But I really think the Cowboys, when they drafted Tyler Guyton, I know a lot of people might not agree with me. I just think the Cowboys could have did better. Why go get a project at left tackle? I didn't understand why the Cowboys did this. Why would you go get a project at left tackle? You don't get a project at left tackle. You get a left tackle at left tackle. Rombowski said, actually, G, I think it was either Matt Millen or Mark Schlereth. I heard say this was not uncommon to have in OG's contracts. Agents protect their clients because offensive tackle pay is much higher than OG's. Well, that may be true, but I think two things can be true, Rombowski. I think they put that in in Smith's contract because Tyler Guyton. Shoot. And think about it, Rombowski, because they'd already seen Tyler Guyton play over there. he played at a Pro Bowl level. It makes sense why they would put it in his contract. It makes absolute sense. I think they're saying something. And then not only do they put that in the contract, then they come back and, we got to make a big step this year. We're going to see. Pressure either bust a pipe or create diamonds. We're going to see. Angie, think about this. Who replaces, now Angie, tell me the truth here. Angie, who replaces Tyler Guyton? Who replaces Tyron Smith with Tyler Guyton? Who replaces one of the best left tackles to ever play the game? You replace them with Tyler Guyton. Who does that? Somebody tell me the truth. Maybe I'm dumb. Who replaces a guy who hasn't even played a lot of left tackle? Who replaces Tyron Smith with a guy who hasn't even played a lot of left tackle? Somebody tell me who does this. The player that's going to replace Tyron Smith, I'm looking for another Tyron Smith. That's who I'm looking for. I'll be honest with y'all. That year, I believe it's Tyron Smith's rookie. I mean, it's Ty Smith's rookie year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Tyron Smith goes down, and Ty Smith has an incredible season filling in for Tyron Smith. I'd have never took him from left tackle. Why would I do that? I'd have never took him from left tackle. It's easier to find a left guard than it is to find a left tackle. I mean, Angie, I'm asking you because I'm just asking because maybe I'm crazy. Angie, who replaces one of the best left tackles to play the game with a project left tackle? I'm not downing Tyler Guyton. I'm just telling the truth. Tyler Guyton wasn't a seasoned left tackle. Right tackle and left tackle are totally different. They are totally different. You got Tyler Guyton to replace Tyron Smith. Who does this? Ron Bowski said you replace Tyron Smith with a left tackle that has never played left tackle at all throughout his whole college career at OU. I mean, Big Ron Bowski, can you help me make this make sense? Somebody else said, who is this in here? Glenn Harrison, he said the pick that surprised all of us Cowboy fans, Tyler Guyton. I believe it. Because I just don't believe you wake up one day and say, hey, we're going to replace the best left tackle in the game with a guy who hasn't even played left tackle, but has the potential to play left tackle to protect our $60 million quarterback in Dak Prescott. Hey, I got a good idea. Let's bring in Tyler Guyton. It is what it is. He's here now. He's got to make a big step. If I'm the Cowboys, he don't make that big step. I'm not playing around. I'm going to move Tyron Smith. I don't care if I move him for 1 year. I'm moving him. I'm moving Bass to left guard, and I'm rolling with it. I'm not waiting until midseason to do something like this. Guyton better show me in training camp. I'm not waiting until we get into the season. Not doing it. I'm not doing it. Edgy said, yeah, I can play left tackle since they want to use a project. I mean, that might be how they saw it. It's crazy to me. Glenn Harrison said, I believe somebody was smoking on draft night. All right, so let's go. Let's move on.
Yes! Here we go!
All right, so we were talking about this thing with the coaches rank. Talking about this thing with the coaching rank. Let me make sure I'm still there. Anybody who has not seen this article, I think Rombowski has seen it, so Rombowski, don't spoil it. So the 2026 NFL head coach rankings are out there. The 2026 NFL head coaching rankings are out there. Analysis for all 32 teams, including this year's 10 new hires. It's the deepest group since I started this exercise 12 years ago. So y'all tell me, where do y'all think What do y'all think Brian Schottenheimer ranks in the 32 coaches in this league? Y'all tell me where y'all think Brian Schottenheimer ranks. Y'all tell me. Where do you think he ranks? Where do y'all think he ranks? Where do y'all think Brian Schottenheimer ranks? Jeremy Betts said that's true. You don't replace a legend with an inexperienced guy who opposite side all through college. It don't make sense. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I believe if Brian Schottenheimer is the head coach, I don't think they make that move. I don't think they make that move if Brian Schottenheimer is the coach. This is another one of these players that is left over from a previous regime that the Joneses they want to be good. And now Brian and his team, they are stuck with trying to make Brian into what the Joneses believe he can be. All right. Angie, you said number 10? Wait a minute. Carlos Rivera, he said 17th. Everett said 26. Mills said 30. Come on, Mills. 32, man. 32. Newhouse fam, he said I can hear Christian Parker say, "Look at him, shot to get his knock-knee butt off the field." Who you talking about? You talking about Tyler Guyton? Bro, Bowser said Guyton didn't even come out of trade and kept fully healthy. Boy, you didn't come out in his rookie season. And that's what NFL now outlawing two-a-days and limited contact every day too. Man, okay, Poopa D said number 29. Justin Durham said number 25. Edgy said, gee, it's crazy. They changed Guyton position too. Like, what the? I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy, Angie. It don't make sense. Rob Boskin said, Tolbert Shotty is number 1. Why you crazy? He said without Tolbert Shotty is number 33. Boy, you crazy. Boy, you crazy. Geek said so much for Guyton shadow boxing in the rain. Boy, you crazy. Boy, I remember when he was shadow boxing in the rain. Boy, hey, man, I'm going to tell y'all, I was just as guilty, man. I ain't going to even lie to y'all, man. I was just as guilty. Guyton out there boxing in the rain. I'm like, boy, hey, y'all remember he got on that nutrition plan? Boy, he looked lighter and leaner. I said, boy, Guyton is about to be out here killing. Couldn't even last the season. Couldn't last the season. All right. So Rico Jones said 15. All right, let's go over to the article. The article is absolutely fascinating. Roto Pats from NBC Sports. Roto Pats 2026 NFL head coach rankings analysis for all 32 teams. Says of the 10 head coaches who were either fired or re-signed this offseason, 6 made the playoffs with the team that let them go. 2 made the postseason in 2025. 3 have won Super Bowls, including 2 with the firing club. Tough business. It has been made even more so by the inaugural improvement in coaching over the past decade. Plus, coasting on cliches is no longer enough when late 30-something or early 40-something hires keep winning Super Bowls. Yep. A lot of people keep saying the football is a young man's game. It says the demands on a coach, leadership, discipline, media savvy, scheme sophistication are mostly the same as they have always been. What's changed is the hypersonic speed at which they continue to evolve. The NFL has never slowed down, but like the rest of modern life, it only ever moves faster. As I say every year, players, owners, assistants, injuries, and acts of God can matter as much as coaching ability. That's why, though this is a ranking article, I try not to think of it that way. I view it as more of an almanac, an assessment of where the league's 32 coaches find themselves right now, how they got here, and where they might be going Last year's list can be found here. Let me see what last year's list says that, where was Brian Schottenheimer last year? Let's see. Before we get to this year. Where was Brian Schottenheimer last year? Let's see. I really could speed past the top 10, I'm pretty sure. Top 20, I could probably speed past it too. This was last year. Let's see. Okay, so last year they had him ranked as one of the new hires. So I don't know if that's really, well, I guess it is a rank depending upon where they put you. So Brian Schottenheimer, let me tell you what's ironic here. Check this out. So obviously Brian Schottenheimer is at number 32. Even though there's no number here, there's 32 coaches, so he's number 31. You know what's probably not a great sign? So this is Brian Schottenheimer. When your own hiring is a red flag. Although few could argue Brian Schottenheimer hasn't paid his dues, he has to know there's only one reason he got the gig. So owner Jerry Jones can keep running the show. Old Juror rose to the top with one of the most powerful head coaches in the history of the league, Jimmy Johnson. After slowly moving away from that model, he got away from it all together following Bill Parcells' third retirement. Ever since, it's been all about who can be the most pliant stooge. After lasting surprisingly long time in the role, Mike McCarthy was evidently no longer submissive enough for Jones. Enter Schottenheimer, a 24-year NFL assistant who was off the head coaching radar of the 31 of 32 teams. He owes it all to Jones. Head coaches are never exactly swimming in leverage over the owner. But Schottenheimer has precisely none. That's a tough way to run a ball club. None of this is to mention that even in a league where family names have long been as important as play calling acumen, there is no chance Schottenheimer could have landed this opportunity with a different surname. Maybe Schottenheimer's decades of experience will end up a secret weapon nobody saw coming, but therein lies the problem. If there's a reason Schottenheimer actually deserved the job, no one can see it. Wow. Wow. And you know what I found to be ironic? Mike Vrabel was number 32 and made the Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel was number 32 and he made the Super Bowl. Let's see. Where did they have Mike McDaniel? I think that's his name, right? Where did they have Mike McDaniel last year? Seattle Seahawks coach. Mike McDonald, I'm sorry. Mike McDonald was number 19, and he won the Super Bowl. Won the Super Bowl. So let's go back to now this year. Where does Brian Schottenheimer rank after 1 year? Number one is Sean McVay. I think I agree with this to it. I really agree with this. And one of the reasons why I think it is because of his coaching and his play calling. Sean McVay, number one. Andy Reid, number two. Kyle Shanahan, number three. Boy, he did a bang-up job. Okay, I didn't even realize. I hadn't looked at the list. I could have easily just looked down here to see where they were ranked. Sorry about that. This year, Mike McDonald is number 4. Sean Payton is number 5, who has given up the play calling this coming year. Jim Harbaugh is number 6. This is the kind of stuff that just irks me about these lists. What has Jim Harbaugh done to be number 6? We're not talking about what he did with the 49ers. The heck has he done with the Chargers to be number 6? How is he over Mike Vrabel? Come on, man. Well, I don't know. After Diana Rossini, Mike Vrabel may even fall more on this list. They got Mike Vrabel at number 7. Dan Campbell is number 8. Nick Sirianni, number 9. Matt LaFleur is number 10. You know, I'll be honest with you. I would take DeMeco Ryans. I would take DeMeco Ryans over Matt LaFleur. Dan Campbell right now. I would take him over Jim Harbaugh. I would definitely take him over Sean Payton. I think DeMeco Ryans needs to be higher on this list. Y'all tell me. I think they've, and what's been selling him out is C.J. Stroud. Man, C.J. Stroud has fell off a cliff. Chanel in the congregation. What's going on, Chanel? Good to see you. I don't think Kevin O'Connell should be at 12. Ben Johnson should probably be higher than Kevin O'Connell. I'd take Ben Johnson over Kevin O'Connell any day. And Harbaugh and some of those others. Liam Cohen at 14. Shane Steichen at 15. Todd Bowles. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Todd Bowles does not deserve to be in the top 20 of coaches. I'm sorry he doesn't. I just don't think Todd Bowles should be there. They keep trying to make Todd Bowles successful, but Todd Bowles just can't. We'll see what happens this year, but I wouldn't put him up there. Zach Taylor at 17. This man does not deserve to be 17. Y'all look at this. We haven't even seen Brian Schottenheimer's name. And they got Kellen Moore at 18? What? Kellen Moore was 6-11 last season. Well, I guess maybe he didn't have the weapons that Brian Schottenheimer has either. They got him at number 18. 19, they got Dave Canales or whatever his name is for the Panthers. Dan Quinn at number 20. I would probably have Dan Quinn a tinge higher than 20. Brian Schottenheimer. You're gonna put Brian Schottenheimer one step in front of Aaron Glenn? Do y'all know how bad Aaron Glenn was, and now he's saying that Geno Smith is gonna take them to the promised land? Come on, man. You might as well put Brian Schottenheimer dead last. What in the world? Because basically, do y'all see what they've done to Brian Schottenheimer? This is the same position, really, for Brian Schottenheimer last year. He's number 21 in front of the worst coach in the league. Everybody else is new hires. Come on, man. Come. Robowski, come on, man. Robowski, I see exactly why you sent me this list now. Boy, I didn't even look at this list when you sent it to me. Come on, man. They basically put this man right above Aaron Glenn. He's right before all the new hires. Joe Brady for the Bills. Jeff Hafley for the Dolphins. Man, let me tell you something. Boy, Troy Aikman got some pressure on him because his fingerprints is all over Jeff Hafley. Oh, he better win. John Harbaugh for the Giants. Clint Kubiak. Mike LaFleur. Mike McCarthy for the Steelers. Jesse Minter. Todd Monken for the Browns. Robert Saleh for the Titans. Kevin Stefanski for the Falcons. He definitely should be number 32. You put Brian Schottenheimer, though. You put Brian Schottenheimer right before Aaron Glenn? Come on, man. Boy, the disrespect. This is disrespect, man. Glenn Harrison said that ranking is because of his boss. I don't know what it is. That is just disrespect. That is just disrespect. Gronkowski said, I don't think the new hires are part of the ranking. It stops at 22. That's why I said Gronkowski's in the same position he was last year, basically. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let's look at the reasoning. Said the Dallas sky did not fall during Brian Schottenheimer's first year on the job. It did not brighten either. If the initial reaction of why didn't they just let a fan coach the team was a little over the top for an assistant with 25 years of NFL experience, it was still directionally accurate. Schottenheimer exceeded expectations only because there weren't any. A team that used to dream of Super Bowl now seems content to break parking and concession records. If you're wondering, what does any of that have to do with Brian Schottenheimer? The answer is nothing. That's because this project is no longer really about football. It used to be the only Cowboy who was graded on the curve was owner Jerry Jones. For an owner, he actually knows about football. Listen, the Cowboys at least usually get their first-round picks right. That permissive attitude now permeates the entire operation. Small wins are enough. The 2025 squad might have gone 7-9-1. But Dak Prescott stayed healthy. They won the George Pickens trade. And yes, last but not least, they didn't hire the very worst coach in football. Congratulations to whom we aren't exactly sure. Wow. Wow. Terry Tatum, they said Kellen Moore did a better job than that. Terry Tatum, but I guess I could see some of the reasoning of them ranking him above because, the Cowboys squad was better. I don't know how bad your defense, I'm not sure how bad the Saints defense was, but wow. Brian got to turn that around. But wait a minute. But this is the part that is about to blow y'all's mind. Are y'all ready for the part that's going to blow your mind? So I found another list, Rombowski. I found another list by accident after you sent me this list. I found another list. And on this list was the offensive coordinator ranks in this league. And this is the part that really has me dumbfounded. The rank of the offensive coordinators. And this is by somebody named John Fransuela. So this is something personal. But it's still